$17 million a season, one player, one contract, and the NHL will never be the same. Kirill Kaprizov just pocketed the richest contract in NHL history. 8 years, $136 million. And honestly, before you even finish this, the ripple will have already slammed into every front office, every agent, and every superstar who thought they knew what market value meant. Yeah, even Connor McDavid. This isn't just a significant development. It's a financial earthquake that will reshape the league as we know it. $17 million a season. Just let that sink in for a second. That's not just a raise, it's a whole new zip code for the salary cap. Kaprizov's annual average value doesn't just jump past Austin Matthews and Leon Draisaitl. It leapfrogs every single winger who ever walked an agent into a GM's office with dollar signs in their eyes. We're talking about an AAV that's 3 to 5 million higher than previous top contracts. Think about the audacity. Minnesota looked at a projected $95.5 million ceiling for next season and basically said, sure, we'll hand one guy a whopping 18% of it every single year until 2033. And here's the kicker. There was no bridge deal, no hometown discount, no show us one more season clause. This was straight cash, 8 times over. Wild fans are absolutely euphoric today, and who can blame them? They've locked down their generational talent. But you know what? 29 other fan bases should be absolutely terrified, because that number isn't just Kaprizov's payday, it's now the starting pistol for every future negotiation across the league. It's the new baseline, the new expectation, and it's going to make every GM sweat. This single contract has rewritten the rulebook for what an elite player can command, setting a new high water mark that will undoubtedly embolden star players and their agents for years to come. Let's be real, Minnesota isn't precisely a big revenue juggernaut. They're pretty middle of the pack in terms of ticket prices, the same for local TV money. And they still live with the financial ghosts of those infamous Parise Suter buyouts haunting their books. So, why on earth would they empty the vault, completely blow past previous benchmarks for one Russian sniper? Because they had no plan B. That's all. Kaprizov isn't just a good player, he's the player. He sells jerseys like hotcakes, he fills seats, he's the reason they can even sniff playoff revenue. And, this is the crucial bit, he was only 3 weeks away from unrestricted free agency. Lose him, and the franchise isn't just back to square one. They're back to the depressing muck for Bedard storyline, maybe even worse. Ownership swallowed hard, looked at a rising cap, projected at $104 million in 2026-27 and $113.5 million in 2027-28, and made a massive bet. They're banking on the idea that by year 4, this seemingly obscene deal will look merely expensive, not completely insane. It's the same kind of aggressive math Vegas used on Mark Stone. The same logic Toronto applied to Austin Matthews, only now is the sticker price a full 20% higher. The Wild, a team often criticized for its conservative approach, just made one of the boldest financial moves in NHL history. They prioritized securing their franchise player long term, acknowledging that the cost of not signing him was far greater than the $17 million annual commitment. This move highlights a growing trend. If you have a true superstar, you pay them, no matter the immediate sticker shock, because the alternative is often far worse than the franchise's trajectory and fan engagement. Alright, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the one wearing 97 in orange. Connor McDavid has just one season left before extension talks officially kick off. His current cap hit a paltry $12.5 million. That number was set way back in 2017, when the salary cap ceiling was a modest $75 million. Fast forward to today, and 60 days from now, you can bet every single reporter in North America will be asking his agent the same loaded question. So, if Kaprizov is worth $17 million, what exactly is Connor worth? One deal, signed in Minnesota, didn't just rewrite the NHL's financial landscape, it basically rewrote the entire economic outlook for 31 other franchises. Kaprizov's contract is now the benchmark. It's not just about his personal earnings, it's about setting a new standard for the best player in the world. It's a testament to player empowerment, where the market dictates value and the elite players hold all the cards. The pressure on the rest of the league is immense, and the implications for their roster construction will be enormous. This is a moment that will define their franchises for the next decade. Remember when Tampa Bay seemed to magically wheeze over the regular season limit, conveniently parking a superstar like Nikita Kucherov on LTIR, only to ice a $100 million roster when the playoffs rolled around? That loophole, that incredibly convenient bit of cap gymnastics, slammed shut this spring. Starting in the 2025-26 season, playoff expenditures now count against the cap. Period. What does that mean for a team like Minnesota? With Kaprizov's $17 million hit, it means they can't just paper over that massive salary with creative accounting once April hits. Every single contender now has to fit its mega deals into a real money budget. 12 months a year. No more playoff roster that magically appears. Your regular season roster is your playoff roster, cap-wise. The result? General managers are going to be forced into some truly agonizing choices. We'll likely see teams built around one undisputed superstar, maybe one second-tier star, and then a village of league minimum kids who skate like the wind and eat ramen for dinner. Depth, that crucial ingredient for long playoff runs, is going to die a slow, painful death. Parity might skyrocket in the regular season, but the highlight reels, they'll get shorter, way more top-heavy, featuring only the handful of players teams can actually afford to keep. This new rule fundamentally alters how teams can manage their cap and build a truly competitive roster, making massive contracts even more impactful and challenging to navigate. It's a game changer for long-term strategic planning. So, who's popping champagne and who's nursing a severe headache tonight? Winners? Kaprizov, obviously. The man just banked more per season than half the league's teams spend on their entire bottom six. That's just ridiculous. Every elite winger who files for arbitration this summer. Hello, Jason Robertson? You just gained a bazooka in the negotiating room. His agent is probably doing backflips right now, and agents in general. They are absolutely popping champagne corks. Their entire playbook for superstar negotiations just got a massive upgrade. Player empowerment just got a turbo boost, giving them unprecedented leverage in future contract talks. Losers, small market owners, who often budget right to the floor, are now forced to make impossible choices. Do they keep their one true star, the guy who puts butts in the seats? Or do they try to retain three support pieces that make the team competitive? Guess which option naturally sells tickets and keeps the fan base engaged? This deal could accelerate a trend towards superstar-centric team building, but it comes at the cost of sacrificing depth and potentially widening the gap between teams that can afford such contracts and those that cannot. It's going to be a brutal offseason for many GMs. The coming lockout whispers, let's not forget the bigger picture, the collective bargaining agreement, the very foundation of the league's financial structure, has escalator clauses that tie cap growth directly to hockey-related revenue. What happens if salaries, fueled by deals like Kaprizov's, start racing ahead of HRR hiccups? Say, for instance, a major Canadian TV deal stalls, or a U.S. recession cuts ad rates. The league can, and probably will, invoke a cap freeze. Players would howl, and rightfully so, because they just got used to these $17 million benchmarks becoming the new normal. We've seen this movie before. The last time this kind of financial tension boiled over was 2012. Owners demanded rollbacks. Players said absolutely not, and a half a season vanished into thin air. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman has already mused about cost certainty. In 2 straight press conferences, a phrase that sends shivers down players' spines. NHLPA Executive Director Marty Walsh, on the other hand, countered with the equally strong sentiment that players deserve their share. Translation: the Kaprizov contract isn't just a big payday. It's the first shot across the bow on what could become the next labor war. The escalating players' salaries and cap pressures will heavily influence future CBA discussions, with both sides needing to find a delicate balance between cap growth, player compensation, and roster flexibility to maintain the league's stability. This deal has just upped the ante significantly for everyone involved. So, what's the crystal ball showing us for the immediate future? What happens next? NHL player agents begin to negotiate superstar contracts based on the Kaprizov deal. 8-year deals starting at a cool $160 million become the norm. But here's the twist. These deals are front-loaded, so the last 2 seasons pay a relatively low actual salary, making an easy buyout if the game speeds past a 31-year-old center. Summer 2026, Austin Matthews hits the market again. The ask? 8 years, $168 million. Toronto balks, despite its considerable financial might. Why? Because the cap is still a thing, and they've got other stars to pay. And who swoops in? Utah has cap space to burn and is desperate for relevance. Matthews becomes the first $21 million man, a superstar signing that finally puts the Mammoth on the map. By 2027, the league's top 10 scorers are all making north of $16 million. Meanwhile, third-liners are settling for the league minimum because that's all that fits under the cap. Depth has become a luxury few can afford. Parity becomes a spinning wheel of chaos. This year's Cup winner, it'll be whoever's cheap rookie goalie gets hot at precisely the right time, carrying a team of stars and minimum wage grinders to glory. This isn't just about individual contracts. It's about a complete philosophical shift in how teams will be constructed and how competitive balance will be achieved, or perhaps utterly disrupted. Alright, so drop your take in the comments below. Would you pay Kaprizov $17 million? or would you roll the dice on three $5.5 million players? It's a tough call. And definitely smash that notification bell if you want more deep dives into whatever madness the salary cap forces GMs to invent. One signature, 8 years, $136 million. And just like that, the NHL's financial tectonic plates didn't just shift, they violently ripped apart underneath our feet. Kirill Kaprizov gets paid. Connor McDavid gets a new target. Owners get nightmares. And what about the fans? We are experiencing the most unpredictable high-stakes contract era in hockey history. The Wild just didn't lock up a star. They detonated the market. Every extension from here on out is going to feel like an arms race, and the salary cap ceiling is now more like a distant galaxy than a solid roof. Welcome to the new math of the NHL. Hey, hockey fans, you can also follow my blog at https://tedtalkshockey.com, and remember to keep your stick on the ice.